Okay, so then you have no chance. You have no choice. You have to answer the questions, yeah, because when many people join, and you can let them answer, but now you have no choice. Okay. Okay. So let's try to review some points. So it follows, the definition of one. Accept. Opposite.
That which is the phenomena which is not diverse.
Yes, a phenomenon which is not diverse. And the definition of different?
Diverse phenomena.
Diverse phenomena, very good. And the definition of contradictory?
One phenomena that has no common base.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, different with no common base. Different phenomena which have no common
Different
base. Very
phenomena.
good. Yes. And equivalent?
One that has the eight what are they called?
8 doors of pervasion.
Doors of pervasion. Thank you.
Very good. Yes. They are different and they share the 8 doors of perversion. Very good. Okay, fantastic. So now we try to go into the established base. So when we speak about established base, it means it's a base for discovering the selflessness. Yeah. So that's why, of course, in the text they say if it exists or not, it is selfless. But the phenomena, the established bases are used in order to discover selflessness, yeah, to ascertain the selflessness. Okay, so that's why we say established base, but equivalent phenomena could be existent, phenomenon, object, and so on, yeah. Okay, and existent is divided into two. So we have one and different, and we have also permanent and impermanent. Okay, so it follows, the definition of impermanent.
Phenomena which change moment by moment.
Yes, exactly. Yes, momentary. Yes, of course, we could say phenomena which change momentary, or the shortcut, momentary.
Momentary.
Very good. Yes. So then if you know the definition of impermanent, you necessarily know the definition of permanent.
Accept.
Yes, was it?
That which does not change moment by moment.
Okay, so it follows that the subject horn of the rabbit doesn't change moment by moment.
Phenomena which does not change moment by moment.
Very good. Yes, exactly. A phenomenon which doesn't change moment by moment. Yeah, we could say non-momentary phenomenon, a phenomenon which is not momentary. Yeah, or Yonzin Purbuchog would say a common base between phenomenon and non-momentary. Yeah, it has to exist. Yeah. Okay, very good. So, yes, so you know the difference between the two, permanent and impermanent, among contradictory, equivalent 3P, 4P?
Accept.
Yes. What is it?
Contradictory.
Contradictory.
Contradictory, it follows that the subject, the two, permanent and impermanent, are contradictory.
Accept.
Yes, they are contradictory because?
Because they have
They
no
have-
common.
Yes, no common
Yes.
base.
It follows that if they have no common base, they are necessarily contradictory.
Yes. Accept.
Yes.
Yeah. So it follows that the subject, the two, horned rabbit and blue horned rabbit, have no common base.
It has to be phenomena.
Yes. They have to be
Yes.
different. Exactly.
They have to be different.
Yes, very good. Very good. Fantastic. Yeah. So it follows that if they are different with no common base, they are necessarily contradictory.
Accept.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, because that's the definition, yeah, of contradictory. Okay, fantastic. Wow. Okay, so then yes, permanent and impermanent are an exhaustive division of existent. So it means if it exists, it has to be either permanent or impermanent. Yeah, very good. Like one and different. If it exists, it has to be one or different. If it is none of them, it doesn't exist. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm sure you know the difference between the two, impermanent and different from permanent. Impermanent and different from permanent. So as usual, then we check if there is a common base and so on. Yeah.
I forgot the definition of different from
Yes.
phenomena.
What is
I
the
forgot
definition
the
of different?
definition.
Yeah, diverse phenomena. So we could say the
Okay.
definition of different from permanent would be phenomena which are diverse from
Diverse.
permanent. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Or
So
it can be
there is no
singular.
common,
Yes,
there is
sorry.
no common base, right? There
There
is
is
no
no common
common.
base between impermanent and different from permanent. Yeah. So it follows that the subject table is not different from permanent because it is impermanent.
I think it is 3P.
3P. Okay. Okay. So then, Chaviji, you have some common base between the two. And Apollinaji doesn't have any common base between the two. So then we can posit a consequence. Yeah. Yeah, we can say, okay, it follows that the subject. What kind of illustration do you have as a common base?
Okay, it follows that the subject pod is not the common base between impermanent and different from permanent.
And what the defender says. Because sometimes we tend to assimilate different from permanent and contradictory with permanent. But it's very different. Yeah. Yes. So it follows that the subject table or pot, yes, pot is impermanent. Yeah, everybody agrees. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, it is impermanent because
because it is momentary.
yes, it follows that if it is momentary, it's necessarily impermanent.
Accept.
Very good. And the subject pot is different from permanent.
Accept.
It is different from permanent because
Because it is diverse from permanent.
yes, it follows that if it is a phenomenon which is diverse from permanent, it's necessarily different from permanent.
Accept.
Very good. So we have a common base. Welcome to the joiners. Welcome to the new Zoomers. So we are on the debate comparing impermanent and different from permanent. So we have here, hello. We have Chaviji and Apollinaji, they manage very well. So please dare to join in the debate. Okay. So we have a common base. So if we have a common base between two items, they are necessarily not contradictory. Do you agree?
Yes, accept.
Okay, very good. So they are not contradictory, so they could be equivalent 3P or 4P. Yeah?
Hmm.
And we have 3P from Chaviji. Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
so it follows you can posit the perversion.
Yes. Whatever is sorry.
Whatever is impermanent.
Yes, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so whatever is impermanent must necessarily be different from permanent, but whatever is different from permanent may not necessarily be impermanent. Yes.
Wow, fantastic. So good. Yeah. So yes, if it is impermanent, it's necessarily different from permanent because
Because because uh, because permanent and impermanent are contradictory.
yes. Wow. Very good. Yeah, so it follows that if it is contradictory with permanent, it's necessarily different from permanent.
Accept.
Wow, very good. Incredible. Yes, that's fantastic, really. Okay, so yes, the perversion goes like this. If it is impermanent, it's necessarily different from permanent. But if it is different from permanent, it's not necessarily impermanent. For instance,
Absence of flower in my hand.
yes, absence of flower in your hand. It follows it is different from permanent.
Accept.
It is different from permanent
Because only permanent is one with permanent.
yes, it follows that only permanent is one with permanent. Very
Yes.
good. So if permanent is the only phenomenon which is one with permanent, anything, any other existent is different from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, very good. Okay, so the absence of flower in your hand, it follows it is different from permanent, and it follows it is not impermanent.
Yes, accept.
It is not impermanent because
Because it is a permanent phenomenon.
yes, it follows that if it is a permanent phenomenon, it's necessarily not impermanent.
Accept.
Okay, and the subject, the absence of flower in your hand is permanent
Because it is because it is it because it is a phenomena that is not momentary.
yes, very good. Fantastic. Yes, it is a phenomenon which is not momentary. We could say because it is a mere negation, it's a mere absence. Yeah, there is no substance that can change. Very good. So of course, when we say permanent, it doesn't mean
Because it
yeah.
is because it is a conceptual thing.
Yes, in one sense, we can say that it's not a mere concept, but it exists through the concept. Yeah, it's a merely imputed phenomenon for the Sotrantika.
Merely
Yeah.
imputed.
Yes, any permanent phenomenon is an under existent. It exists, but it is not an ultimate truth. It's not real. It's fake in one sense. Yeah, so it's very useful to ascertain that. Then after, when we go to the Prasangika Madhyamaka, then all phenomena are like this. They exist, but not as real phenomena. It's fantastic. Okay. Okay, so we said 3P between impermanent, or three possibilities between impermanent and different from permanent. So we had the first possibility, it was, for instance, pot. Pot is impermanent and different from permanent. Then we had different from permanent, which is not impermanent, the absence of flower in your hand. And now, so that's the second possibility. And the third possibility is something which is none of them. What could it be? Something which is not A, not B, not impermanent, and not different from permanent.
Horn of rabbit.
Yes, it works. Yes. It's kind of a safe answer. But yes, it's perfectly correct. And if the challenger asks for a phenomenon, which is none of them, which is not impermanent and not different from permanent, what could it be?
And selflessness or emptiness.
Okay.
Some confused with these terms.
It follows that the subject selflessness is not different from permanent.
Confused.
It is.
It is, it
Yeah,
is.
it is exactly, because permanent is an instance of selflessness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
So
Very
only
good.
permanent.
Yes, very good. Only permanent if we ask for a phenomenon which is not A, not B, it is not impermanent, and it is not different from permanent, then only permanent exists and is not different from permanent. Yeah, only permanent is at the same time not impermanent and not different from permanent if we ask for existent. Yeah, if for non-existent, that's okay. Yeah, hold on a bit, I would perfectly accept. But if we ask something which exists and is not impermanent and is not different from permanent, then just permanent. That's the only phenomenon that goes there. Yeah, does it work? Okay, fantastic. Fantastic, very good. Okay, so now we have 3P between impermanent and different from permanent. Okay, so now maybe because we had lots of lessons, of sessions on debate, maybe let's try this one. I'm sure you know the difference between the two, impermanent and contradictory with permanent. Impermanent and contradictory with permanent. What could it be? This one is a bit tricky. Maybe I should take it back.
Contradictory with permanent, right? Contradictory with permanent is impermanent is contradictory.
Okay. So they would be equivalent?
So we have impermanent and contradictory with permanent, that is impermanent and impermanent. That's equivalent,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, it would be equivalent. Okay. Okay. So it
I think,
follows that it, yeah,
sorry.
please.
I think it is 3P with nothing that is neither.
Okay, wow.
Oh no, contradictory. No, okay, 3P. I go
Okay.
with this part.
Okay. Okay. So if we say 3P or equivalent anyway, we have common base. Yeah, we have a common
Yeah,
base. So what can be the common base between the two, impermanent and contradictory with permanent?
impermanent.
Impermanent, yeah, the subject impermanent is impermanent.
Yes,
Yeah, because it is impermanent.
because it changes. It is now it is momentary.
Yes, very good. So it follows that if it is momentary changing, it's necessarily impermanent.
Accept.
Yes, very good. And the subject impermanent is contradictory with permanent.
Accept.
Yes, it is contradictory with permanent because
Because they're different with no common base.
yes, it follows that if they are different with no common base, they are necessarily contradictory.
Accept.
Very good. Okay. So what is the perversion?
So whatever is impermanent must necessarily be contradictory with permanent, but whatever is contradictory with permanent may not necessarily be impermanent.
So what could it be? What kind of illustration do we have? Which are contradictory with permanent, but they are not impermanent.
Horn of a rabbit?
It follows that the subject horn of the rabbit is different with no common base, with permanent.
Accept.
So it follows that the subject horn of the rabbit exists because it's a phenomenon which is diverse from permanent.
Oops. Um, contradictory with permanent would be, which is not impermanent. Non-momentary phenomena.
Yeah. Non-momentary phenomenon. It follows that the subject non-momentary phenomenon is contradictory with permanent. So it follows that there are no common base between non-momentary phenomenon and permanent.
No, but non-momentary phenomenon is permanent phenomenon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not contradictory from permanent. So anything that is contradictory from permanent is impermanent. But we have to find an illustration that is impermanent is not different from, is not impermanent, something like that.
Oh, so it follows that if it is contradictory with permanent, it's necessarily impermanent.
What could be contradictory with permanent? Impermanent. I can't think.
Okay. So for instance, the subject the two, space in the east and space in the west. Yeah, the set of the two. The set of the two is permanent, impossible to be. Yeah, there is nothing which at the same time is space in the east and space in the west. Yeah, do you agree with that?
So it does not exist.
Yeah, so it exists, it is permanent. The set of the two is permanent because it is space in the east and space in the west. So the set of the two is permanent, but they have no common base. Yeah, there is no common base between space in the east and space in the west. So if there is no common base between the two, there is no common base between the two and permanent. Yeah, if there is no common base between A and B, there is no common base between A and B and C. So the whole set, space in the east and space in the west, is permanent because it is space, but it is contradictory with permanent.
Yes.
Fantastic. So it follows that if it is contradictory with permanent, it's not necessarily impermanent. It can be permanent, impossible to be.
And permanent,
Yeah, does it
impossible
work?
to be is a classification of permanent, but not non-existent. It exists.
Exactly. It exists, yeah. It exists because it is permanent. It is permanent, but still contradictory with permanent. That's crazy. Yeah, you remember we said one time the five aggregates are impermanent, impossible to be. The whole set of the five aggregates, it's impermanent, impossible to be. Yeah, so the five aggregates, the whole set of the five aggregates is impermanent, but is contradictory with impermanent. Because there is no common base between the five, so there is no common base between the five and impermanent.
Yes.
Wow, okay. Okay, so this one is tricky, and this one is really tricky. And something which is none of them, yeah, it's easy, yeah? Something which is not impermanent and not contradictory with permanent. Among phenomena, otherwise, blue unicorn, so easy.
Permanent.
Permanent, yes, it follows that the subject permanent is not contradictory with permanent.
Oh. Yes, accept.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes we tend to doubt anything that I say.
Yes.
Okay. Nobody trusts me. Okay, so yes, we could say permanent or space and compounded space, yeah. Any permanent possible to be. Any permanent possible to be is not contradictory with permanent.
Any
Yeah, and it is
impermanent
not
impossibility.
any permanent impossible to be.
Any
Sorry, any permanent possible to be, like space
any
and compounded space. Yeah, or we could say like even two permanent phenomena which are not contradictory, like space and selfless. Space and selfless, the set of the two is not contradictory with permanent because there are some common bases. Yeah, so this one we will maybe put aside. Yeah.
next level.
So yes, this
Okay.
thing, yeah, contradictory with, it's just because there are no common base between table and chair, for instance. So there is no common base between table and chair and impermanent. Yeah, there is no common base between space in the east and space in the west. So there is no common base between the two and permanent. And so they exist, but they are the set of the two exists, but it is contradictory with existent. Yeah, that's
Okay.
crazy. Okay, we had something like previously, we had something like this, but in a similar way, we could say horned rabbit is not existent, but it is not contradictory with existent because it's not a diverse phenomenon from existent. Yeah. Okay, very good. Wow. Fantastic. Okay, so 3P, yeah, between impermanent and contradictory with permanent. Okay, so intuitively we tend to think, yeah, they are contradictory, yeah, at first glance. Okay, so now if we try to maybe, yeah, one easier thing, different from impermanent and different from permanent. Are they contradictory, equivalent, 3P, 4P? Different from impermanent, different from permanent. You have 2 hours. Is it okay for Alexi? Do you follow our debates? Maybe not. Maybe Alexi has gone. Sometimes when we jump into those debates and in those conversations, we think, what do they speak about? Okay, different from impermanent and different from permanent. I'm sure you found some common base.
Yes, pot.
Pot. Yeah, the subject pot, it follows it is different from impermanent.
Accept.
It is different from impermanent
because it is not one with impermanent.
it follows that if it is not one with impermanent, it's necessarily different from impermanent.
Accept.
So do you agree that the horned rabbit is not one with impermanent?
Accept, because by the very definition of one, phenomena is implied.
Okay, yes. But if it is abstract thinking, yes, it's very abstract. Except when we speak about pots. Everybody understands pots. So that's why we need to know the definitions, yeah, when we speak about those things. what means impermanent, what means permanent. So we already discussed that at the beginning of the session. So impermanent means it's changing moment by moment, and permanent means it exists, but it's not changing moment by moment. It's static. As long as it exists, it's static. It doesn't change moment by moment. So that's what we mean when we speak about impermanent and permanent. And now when we speak about different from impermanent, it has to be conceptually different. Yeah, for the thought consciousness should be able to distinguish both. Like Chaviji said, hot is different from impermanent. It is impermanent, but it is not one with impermanent. Yeah. Only impermanent is one with impermanent. Very good. Okay. Okay. So yes, pot is different from impermanent. If we say because it is not one with impermanent, is whole other habit, which is a non-existent, one with impermanent or not? It is not, yeah?
No.
So it's not because it is not one with impermanent that it has to be different from impermanent.
Yes.
But if it exists and it is not one with impermanent, it is necessarily different from impermanent, yeah? Very good. Okay, very good. So it follows that the subject hot is different from impermanent because?
Because it is diverse phenomena.
Yes. Yeah, that works. If we give the definition of different from impermanent, we prove that hot is different from impermanent. Very good. And the subject pot is different from permanent.
Except,
Yeah, are you sure?
yes.
Yes, very good. It is different from permanent because?
Because it is diverse phenomena from permanent.
Yes, very good. Because it is a diverse phenomenon from permanent, or we could say because it exists and it is not one with permanent. Yeah, only permanent is one with permanent. Very good. So we have a common base. So they are not contradictory. Yeah. So if they are not contradictory, they could be equivalent. 3 possibilities, 4 possibilities. Yeah. So which one?
I have
Okay.
something which is different from impermanent, but is not different from permanent,
Yes.
or which is one with permanent. So that can only be permanent.
Yes. Very good.
But permanent is not different. Permanent is different from impermanent. Oh, so permanent.
Yes, very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the subject permanent. It follows it is one with permanent.
Yes, I accept.
Okay, so it follows it is not different from permanent.
Accept.
Yes, because it is one with permanent. Okay, so we have something which is B, not A. Sorry, which is A, not B, which is different from impermanent and not different from permanent, only permanent. Okay, it follows that the subject permanent is different from impermanent.
Accept.
It is because?
Because it is diverse phenomena from impermanent.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So we could say because it is contradictory with impermanence and so on. Yeah, very good. That diverse phenomenon, it works perfectly. Very good. So yes, it is different from impermanent, but it is not different from permanent because it is one with permanent. Yeah, just permanent. Okay. So what could be B, not A? It is different from permanent, but not different from impermanent.
Pot.
Pot, it follows that the subject pot is not different from impermanent.
Not different from impermanent is one with impermanent. So it would be impermanent here?
Yes, impermanent. That's the only thing that we could put here. Only in the whole universe, only impermanent is not different from impermanent. Yeah, exists and is not different from impermanent. Only impermanent is one with impermanent. Even momentary, yeah, the definition of impermanent is different from impermanent.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, only impermanent is one with impermanent. Okay, and the subject impermanent is different from permanent.
Excellent.
Yes, it is because
Because they're contradictory.
because they are contradictory. It follows that if they are contradictory, they are necessarily different.
Accept.
Yes, very good. So yes, we have a common base between the two. Pot is different from impermanent and different from permanent. We could put also space and compounded space and so on. Any phenomenon which is not just impermanent itself and not permanent itself. Any other phenomena that works. Okay, so then after we have A not B, different from impermanent, but not different from permanent. So just permanent itself. And B not A, different from permanent, but not different from impermanent, just impermanent itself. Yeah. And what is none of them, not A, not B? What could it be?
Not different from impermanent and not different from permanent. Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. So it's 4P without anything B, which is neither. Okay. So what
Yes.
about horned rabbit? What about horned rabbit?
Horn of a rabbit. Okay. Okay, horn of a rabbit works. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's the we can put only non-existent, because if we put an existent, a phenomenon, then it's a phenomenon which is not different from impermanent and not different from permanent. So it has to be one with permanent and one with impermanent. It's not possible.
Right.
So that's only horned rabbit, blue unicorn, and so on. Yeah, could be put here. So it's 4 possibilities. Wow, fantastic. Fantastic. Wow, 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 incredible. So then we have, okay, phenomenon. And if I put, for instance, object, if you compare phenomenon and object, are they contradictory, equivalent, 3P, 4P?
Equivalent.
Equivalent. Equivalent. They are equivalent because?
Because there are only common bases.
Yes, exactly. Yes, because they are different and they share the 8 doors of perversion. If it is an object, it's necessarily a phenomenon. If it is a phenomenon, it's necessarily an object, and so on. Yeah, yeah, very good. Wow, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so now, if we compare, for instance, yes, different from impermanent and not impermanent. Different
Did
from
you say
impermanent. Yes.
Different from impermanent or different
Yes.
from permanent?
Different from impermanent and not impermanent.
4P.
4P. Wow. Okay, fantastic. So yes, in the beginning, we need to draw, the bubbles and so on. And slowly, slowly, then after it comes quicker. Wow, incredible. 4P. So it follows we can put it a common base between the two, different from impermanent and not impermanent.
Non-composite space.
Yes, the subject and compounded space. It follows it is different from impermanent.
Accept.
Yes, and it follows it is not impermanent.
Accept.
It is not impermanent because?
Because it is a permanent phenomenon.
Yes, it follows that if it is permanent, it's necessarily not impermanent.
Accept.
Very good. Yes. Okay, so it's a common base between the two. So if you say 4P, you can posit an illustration of different from impermanent, which is not impermanent.
Flower.
Flower. Very good. Yeah, because if we look for something which is not impermanent, it has to be impermanent. Yeah. Okay. So the subject flower is impermanent because it is not impermanent.
Accept.
Okay. It is impermanent, but still it is different from impermanent.
Yes, accept.
Yes, very good. It is different from impermanent because?
Because it is a phenomena which is not one with impermanent.
Wow, very good. Yes. So it follows that if it is a phenomenon which is not one with impermanent, it's necessarily different from impermanent.
Accept.
Very good. Wow, fantastic. Incredible, very precise. Yes, you cannot be debated in that case. You cannot be challenged. Yes, that's fantastic. Okay, so we have A and B. This is uncompounded space. And we have A not B, flower. So now B not A, what is not impermanent, and still it is not different from impermanent.
Not impermanent. And so it is different. Yeah, like different from not in. I thought I had something here. Sorry, rethinking.
Let's try to find something. But that is not impermanent, and still it is not different from impermanent.
Nothing.
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 It follows that the subject honored rabbit.
Because we have not here, so we can use horn of a rabbit. But horn of
Yes.
a rabbit is not one with impermanent.
Yes, and it is not different either from impermanent. Yeah, because we are looking for something which is not impermanent. Horn of the rabbit is not impermanent because it doesn't exist. And horn of the rabbit is not different from impermanent because it doesn't exist. It's not a phenomenon which is diverse from impermanent. So it is not impermanent and not different from impermanent. Yeah?
Okay.
Does it work? Okay, very good. Okay. And now if we say 4P, then something which is none of them, which is not different from impermanent, and it is not impermanent. So it is not impermanent, it means it is impermanent.
It is impermanent.
And it is not different from impermanent.
Impermanent.
Yes, very good. Very good. Impermanent itself. That's the only thing that can be put here. Yeah, we cannot put horned rabbit because it is not impermanent, so it has to exist. It has to be impermanent. And if it is impermanent and it is not different from impermanent, it has to be one with impermanent. So only impermanent itself. So 4P, wow, incredible. Incredible. Wow. Yes, I'm really amazed. That's fantastic. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. So, do you have time for a last debate? Yeah, okay. So, something, um, what could it be? Okay. Let's try with a possible to be or something like this or not?
Yes, we need to, I
Yeah.
need to practice this.
Okay. Okay. So if we one easy one, yeah, the difference between impermanent and permanent impossible to be.
Mm, Impermanent and permanent,
Impossible
impossible
to
to
be.
be. Uh, so permanent, impossible to be would only be a set of two permanent phenomena,
Yes, which are contradictory.
which are contradictory.
Like space in the east and space in the west.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, the set of the two, space in the east and space in the west.
And that is a classification of permanent, and then impermanent also has a classification of permanent, of impermanent, possible to be and impossible to be.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Like for instance, the set of the two, table and chair, it is impermanent, impossible to be. Because nothing can be both table and chair.
But even then, when would they ever have a common base?
Very good. Exactly. Yeah, it's just a trick. If we say
Oh,
permanent possible to be or permanent impossible to be, anyway, it's permanent. So it's necessarily contradictory with impermanent, no?
correct. Okay.
Yes, very good. Wow. It was just a trick. Yes. If we compare, for instance, impermanent possible to be and permanent, same. As long as it is impermanent, it has to be contradictory with permanent anyway. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for the trick. But if we compare impermanent and possible to be, that's very different.
Say that again.
If we compare impermanent on one side and possible to be on the other side.
Right.
So we can be both either impermanent or permanent.
Yes, possible to be could be anything. Could be existent, possible to be flower, possible to be, and so on. Yeah.
So common base would be an impermanent possible to be.
Exactly. For instance,
For instance, a set of the two. Oh no. For example, flower.
yes, flower. Exactly. It can be a set of two phenomena. That's possible. As long as those phenomena are not contradictory, like for instance, produced and impermanent, or form and table, it's impermanent possible to be.
Form
Because for
and
instance,
table.
for instance, the table in front of you is an instance or a common base between form and table. So it is impermanent possible to be form and table, the set of the two. It's impermanent possible to be. So it can be an illustration as well. But flower is easier, yeah? Flower is possible to be, yeah? We could say one flower. Because also flower, impossible to be exists. Like for instance, a bunch of flowers, it is flower in Tibetan, because we don't use the articles and so on, yeah, in Tibetan. So we could say the set of the two flowers, it is flower, but it is flower impossible to be. Okay, so I will repeat. Yeah, if we compare impermanent and possible to be, so yes, a common base could be just flower, one flower. Yeah, it's possible to be, like any flower in the garden is one flower. Okay, and we can have a set of many phenomena which are not contradictory, like impermanent, cause, effect, and so on. The set of the three, it's possible to be, because any impermanent phenomenon is that it is impermanent, it is produced, it is a cause, it is an effect, and so on. But if we have something which is impossible to be, we need a set of two or more phenomena which are contradictory, which have no common base. Yeah, very good. So yes, the subject flower is an illustration of impermanent and possible to be. Okay, so they are not contradictory, yeah?
Right.
So can they be equivalent 3P, 4P?
I think 4P.
4P.
So
it follows, yeah.
So impermanent, something which is impermanent but not possible to be would be impermanent, not possible to be. For example,
Yes,
the set of the two, table and chair.
very good.
And then possible to be, something which is possible to be but not impermanent would be permanent phenomena possible to be, for example, non-composite space.
Yes, very good. Wow.
And something
So we
which
have A and B, A not B, B not A, and now something which is none of them.
permanent, not impossible, impossible to be. Permanent,
Yes,
possible to be would be the set of the two, the space in the east and space in the west.
wow, fantastic. Incredible. That's just fantastic. Incredible, really. So that's the way we use our critical mind. That's the way we use our active mind and so on. That's so precious, really, so precious. Of course, now we could wonder if it's important to know if it's space and is that or this or that and so on. But if we apply to the perspective of the Madhyamaka, that's very, very, very useful. Yeah, because this active mind, we need it so much, yeah, for the and for the emptiness and so on, for selflessness and emptiness. So yes, that's very, very useful. If we keep that perspective for the sake of all the beings in order to know emptiness and so on, then those debates are very, very precious. Thank you so much. It was fantastic. I'm really amazed. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful weekend. And we meet next Wednesday, I hope. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.